Welcome back to Sledgehammer Horror, guys. I am Ken Sledge, and let's talk horror. Now, today I'm joined by the amazing Luke Speakman. Luke, how you doing today, man?
Doing good. How about you?
I'm doing a lot better now. It's amazing to be here with you. So, Luke, you have an extensive background in film already at the age of 12, and what got you started in wanting to become an actor?
There's one story that I love telling, and
Okay.
it is true. So when I was younger, I had this over crazy emotion. No, what's the word? Um, emotions there. And my
Yeah.
therapist or pediatrician, oh my gosh, was like, hey, either you got to compress this or you got to put it somewhere or channel it somewhere. And so they tried, hey, how about you do theater acting? I hated it. So then, and so then I tried on film acting. I loved it. And ever since then, I've just done acting and it's been so fun.
Right. Well, and you guys may recognize him because yesterday, Weapons was released nationwide in theaters. And, as a father, I'm proud of you, Luke, for the amazing things that you're doing. As a horror fan, I'm jealous of you. Man, you're in this movie directed by Zach Krieger. And this movie's already the buzz in the horror world. So how did you get involved with the project?
Well, so originally I was doing auditions and I was getting close to getting one of the roles. But then
Mhm.
the strike hit, everything shut down. There was nothing, and I actually kind of started getting theater again.
Mhm.
And then the strike ended, and we're getting back up together, all that stuff. I was too old for the role, that was up for. So then they're like, hey, how about you try this other role? And
Mhm.
and my mom was like, a bully? Luke is too short to play a bully. And so then I try it. Well, so then I do an audition in the back of the van because I was going to Ninja, and they're like, okay, we need this ASAP, and we want to get it back
Yeah.
until like 10, which, so they're like, do it ASAP. And so we did it in the back of van. I did all this stuff. And then I get out of Ninja, which is only an hour. They're like, okay, we need Luke at our studio right now. I'm in these worn down pants, hole in the shirt, like in the worst outfit ever. I come in and Zach Kreger was there, and in one of the scenes, okay, so spoilers here. So if you haven't watched the movie, it isn't like a huge spoiler, but if you
Okay.
haven't watched the movie, you might want to go watch the movie, then listen to this. So in one of the scenes, I flick a pencil onto one of the characters' heads, and I was doing that scene for the audition, and either it went behind me or 2 inches from me, and it's supposed to go flying. And so Zach Kreger was like, "Get out! No, you're fired!" And from that moment on, I knew I had to be on this. I had to. I
Yes.
had to work with Kreger, you know. So it was just awesome.
Yeah, and Kreger, like I said, I'm a huge fan. I loved him when he was in the Troop, The Whitest Kids You Know. Barbarian is still one of my favorite horror movies to this day. Um, so you talked a little bit, Luke, about how, you're a bully and your mom was a little bit nervous because of your size. So when you're playing something, and you seem like a very sweet young man. So were you able to get into that character and become this bully on set for the movie?
Well, it's actually kind of curious. I can really get in a frustrated and mad mood if I get really frustrated and I'm in a bad mood. So like, but I can kind of channel that, and
Yeah.
it's funny because other now some actors, like have to take their patience, get settled. I can just turn it on like that, like snap, I'm a whole new guy. So
See, and it's amazing that you're able to do that at such a young age. 'Cause it takes some people a long time to be able to do that. And with you already capitalizing on it, something I've learned that the bigger the jerk is in a movie, the nicer they are in person.
yep,
And
that is
I,
true.
I you know, I think that, just from the little bit of time that I've been able to spend with you, It's amazing, and I could see just like the brightest career ahead of you with all these amazing things that you're capable of doing. So, what was your experience like on set once you did get the role?
So once I got the role, in the first day, it was so um trying to think it was last summer. So
Hmm.
yeah, I'm trying to think. It was fun. So the first day we had to do makeup, foodings. Okay, sorry, I cannot speak. We had to do
You're fine.
fittings and all that. It was a 6 hour fitting, but the entire time I talked about weather, so I was fine. And there was a dog there, so I was fine.
Yeah.
Like,
So I take it you're a dog guy.
oh, I love dogs. I have three of them, so I love them.
I got two myself. I got Molly and I got Bella right out there. So
Aw,
I totally get it.
I got cheddar, Gracie, and waffles.
That's
So
awesome. Well, see that's why you're thinking of, fooding because you got cheddar and waffles right there with you, man. That's where your brain's at, Luke.
yeah, yeah. So after the fitting and all that stuff, they had me and a couple and all the other kids come out and they're like, okay, we're gonna spray you with this. It's fake blood, and it's gonna stain your clothes. So put this on. And the funny thing is because there was Sunday school or church happening, and they're playing in the playground, all that because it's after, and they just see these kids with this hose, like fire hydrant, getting sprayed with this red liquid or getting blood all over them, and it's like, and honestly, I loved it. I'm like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, woo! And it was awesome.
You turned those kids into believers that day, Luke. You guys sealed the deal that day. Um, so especially with you, at a very young age, and I'm not being condescending when I say that. I know that as a parent myself, school is something that's extremely important. But I know that acting is something that you genuinely really, really love. So how is it for you to balance these two very important things in your life together?
Sorry, I'm fighting the urge to say I don't do school, but I do. I do online school, Connexus Academy. Like,
Mhm.
I don't do school. No, I was fighting my urge to say that, but I do school. I do Connexus Academy online. So
Mhm.
and they're super flexible. There's these optional live lessons that you can go to if you want to or not. So it's really awesome. It's nice
Yeah.
because
See,
and yeah, continue. Sorry.
no, I was saying that's why technology I think is so amazing because now it's a lot easier for you to be able to follow your dream and still get an education.
Yeah.
Um, so it's
Well,
amazing when I get to hear these stories of you guys that are working so hard on set because I know that you have time restrictions and things like that as well. So to be able to do that and still focus on getting your schoolwork done and being able to do it online, I think is super special because it helps you to be able to follow your dreams.
yeah, so the best part is that all I have to have is my iPad or computer and Wi-Fi. Bam.
Yep.
That I
That's so cool,
And
man.
now the good news is that you only have to do one lesson a day to get attendance, but at the end of the year you have to have everything done. So like
Hmm.
if let's say I have a super busy schedule, 15 auditions, 7 callbacks, 44 bookings, I'm just saying like I can do one lesson, focus on that, and then do the rest tomorrow.
Sure.
It's fun. Yeah, it's very
You know
fun.
what? I can honestly see 44 bookings. Like that wouldn't surprise me at all, sir. Um, so without being spoilery, if somebody asked you, what can we expect from weapons? What would you say somebody could expect without spoiling? What would you say the expectation should be going into weapons?
A lot of jump scare and confusion.
Ah, man, now you're speaking my language, Luke.
I'm just saying, a lot of jump scares and a lot of confusion.
I'm so excited,
I,
man.
I
So,
just want to say that.
so, like I said, you're in one of my most anticipated movies of the year. This is up there with The Black Phone 2 and Him as my three most anticipated horror movies of the year. That's been that way since January. So, since this is one of my most anticipated, I want to know what is your favorite horror movie, Luke?
So, personally, I don't watch horror movies, or, well, sort of.
Okay,
I'm getting into the horror film, but I will say
sure.
I don't like, I'm getting into that, like, but like, Weapons already might be one of the best. horror movies I've watched, not because I'm in it, just because of how genuinely good it is. And
Right.
surprisingly enough, there's a lot of moments where you will laugh. Like, you will laugh even though someone is getting torn apart. Like,
Right.
it's stupid how funny it is.
See,
Yeah.
and I think something I've always said, like Zach Cregger, how he was in The Whitest Kid You Know, or Jordan Peele, how he did Key and Peele. I feel like a lot of comedians can become great horror writers because it's all about timing. If your timing isn't right with comedy, people don't laugh. If your timing's not right with horror, people aren't scared. So when you're on set and you're watching all these things, because you've been on plenty of sets now, do you still kind of just sit around and listen and soak things in? Is there something that you can take away from every set to take on to your next project?
So I always learn from the actors, like Josh Brolin or Julia Gardner. Like, I always like they always give me tips. They always, help me out, and I always watch them. Watched. No, I watch them. I don't
Hmm.
watch them. So I watch them, and I like take notes, mental notes, and I'm like, huh, that's very interesting. That like they made it look so like realistic, even though it's just acting. It's
Hmm.
not all about the facial expressions. It's all about like it can be just like all in the eye.
All in the eyes.
You know? I'm just saying. So I actually learned that from my acting coach. So
See, and I love the fact that you're able to give the credit to people because, like I said, um, the people that build us up are the people that hold us up. So I love the fact that you know where you come from and you're willing to give the credit where it's due. And I know you said you don't watch a lot of horror movies, Luke, but at Sledgehammer Horror, the big thing we like to talk about is people's first horror movies, the first horror movie they watched that ever got them into the horror genre. Do you remember what the first horror movie you ever watched was?
it's either going to be Invisible Raptor, because that was a horror. Well, I don't know. Yeah, I think Invisible Raptor, which ironically enough, I'm also in. Um,
No,
so
what better way to start than your own, man?
I know, right? And yeah, so I, you know, so um, Invisible Raptor is basically like Jurassic Park, one of those films, except
Mhm.
it's a comedy of like it's stupid. It's like its cover is like Indiana Jones, and it's
That's
like
awesome.
it's like honestly, you would I feel like you would enjoy it. So
I
Invisible
I
Raptor,
literally wrote it down so I can watch it.
yeah. And it's also has E.T. in it, and I play the boy like that's E.T. Like it's really cool. I like it. Um, yeah. I feel like that's my first horror movie, or it was when I was like 3 years old. I snuck out of bed and I saw my older two sisters watching one of the Jurassic Worlds, and I remember getting traumatized and nightmares ever since then.
Oh yeah. See, and I'm with you, Luke. I will fight to the death that the Jurassic movies are absolutely horror movies.
Oh,
Like
definitely,
I will
definitely.
fight that to the death. If you're gonna consider Jaws a horror movie, which I also do, you have to consider the Jurassic movies as horror movies, man. Like I'm 100% on your team with that.
Now, I have a question for you. What are your thoughts on the new Rebirth? Have you seen that one?
I haven't. I'm very excited to, but I unfortunately the amount of travel we have to do because we're in nowhere, Michigan. So like the closest movie theater to us is about 2 hours away.
Wow.
Um, and we haven't been to the theater in a couple weeks, about a month and a half now. But we are making the drive tomorrow to go see Weapons, and I will definitely email you right afterwards to let you know what we think, man. Because like I said, when I realized this opportunity was out there, I was very excited because I love to talk to people about horror and I love to pick people's brains and to talk to somebody that's so young and so active in the horror community. I think this is incredible, man. And you've been on, like we said, a bunch of different sets. You've done a bunch of different genres of film. What is your preferred genre to work in? If you had your choice to pick a genre movie, what would your favorite genre to act in be?
Hands down, horror. I like this. Okay, real quick. I just want to say any hip hop like comedy are just like either too fast for me or just I I'm a very grounded and like
Hmm.
kid, and like even though I have an overactive, uh, emotions and all that stuff, like I like being like a kid that's very like ah, or something like that. Sorry, it's just the first thing that went in my head, So
No, and I think that's a great answer, because you know your strengths and you know that that's what you want to focus on. So, now that I know that you do love to work in the horror, I have one last question for you, Luke. All the horror franchises out there, you've got Saw, Child's Play, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street. If you could be in one horror franchise, so your name is stapled to that franchise forever, what would the horror franchise you wanted to be in be?
I think it would be Jurassic Park. I'm just saying. I feel like because the movie
Yeah.
series are really good, they actually got me like, oh man, this is good. Like
Hmm.
I watched the first one and I'm like, can we get the second one? Like, come on. What's going on? I know there's like eight
Yeah,
of
man.
them. Come on. You know.
And that would be a fun franchise to be in, man. Running from dinosaurs, like, yeah,
Oh
put me
yeah.
in, coach. I want to play.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Well,
Uh,
Luke, I want to thank you, man, for coming and hanging out with me. Oh, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
oh, I was just gonna say yeah.
But no, I want to thank you for hanging out with me and spending some time because I know that you're a very busy guy, and so I really appreciate it. Please, though, don't go anywhere, my friend. I do have a couple more questions for you.
Yeah, sure.
Um, Everyone else, the best way to follow Luke and his trailblazing career is to follow him on social media. And I have those links right down in the description. Because, like I said, weapons is the present. There's going to be a lot in the future. So you're going to want to keep up on him by following him on social media. So if you haven't already, please like, comment, and subscribe. It does help build the channel more than you know. And follow Sledgehammer Horror on social media. Those links are in the description as well. But until next time, keep talking horror, stay what you are, and we'll see you guys soon.